hear you saying is that MS was your wake-up call, and it was like,
Totally.
you know what? Do it now if you're going to do it.
Yes.
And then I'm sure there were many moments of shock, but after that you realized that.
It took about a month for me and my spouse and my family. Everyone was shocked. I was already imagining my funeral, and I saw myself paralyzed on a chair, and I had so much information on the internet because I had no clue what is MS. And then I started to study about it, and people started telling me about experts, because in the hospital they tell you that there is no cure for MS.
Right.
And once you hear this thing that there is no cure, you start, all your
your
brain starts working.
Or you go, I'm going to fight this like crazy.
Yeah, because I'm not a person that gives up.
Good.
44 years old.
And this is the book that she's attributing her good health to. And it's called On Green and Gray Matter. It's by this amazing woman called Ilana Rogel. And the subtitle is An Encyclopedia of Nutrition and Spirituality in the New Age. And this is what got us talking, because I have...
Okay, well, I'm not a doctor, and before I came to the show, I was thinking, how am I going to tell people what is MS? So I'm going to try and explain to you what happens in the body. This is a blue cable.
Yes.
Let's
say your spinal cord.
Whichever. Spinal cord, and the one that goes through in our brain.
Where all the nerves
Let's say
are.
this is the nervous system. And what happens is the immune system attacks the myelin. The myelin is, let's say, it's the blue stuff that wraps the nerves and protects the nerves. And in MS, what happens, the immune system, as I said, attacks the myelin, and then the nerves are exposed. And once they're exposed, you're getting a seizure. And on the spot that you got the seizure, this part of your body can be paralyzed. Let's say if it's on that side of the brain, then maybe your left hand, I don't know exactly where it paralyzes you, but it can paralyze you, it makes you slower, it makes it difficult to think, to speak faster.
And until you get paralyzed.
In the body. But what this book is talking about is that what happens, in fact, what happens in the body is a result of a perception, of beliefs, of thoughts that we have that creates this situation in the body.
Now, this book is broken into sections. Tell us about the sections, because then I want you to, we'll talk specifically about MS, every illness known to man is in here, I do believe, but there are sections like...
The book is divided to two main parts. One is the nutrition part, which is a nutrition that has to do with frequency.
Okay.
I know it sounds a big word, and it's quite a revolutionary perception.
Right.
Ilana Rogel, she is a PhD specialist in nutrition, and she's also she gets information from cosmic guides.
Don't panic. Combination, yes.
It's integrating Western and spiritual knowledge.
Yes,
that's what it does. And you know, especially when somebody tells you that there is no cure in the hospital, then you go out there and you look for other solutions.
Absolutely, and we've all...
person has their own frequency.
Their own vibration.
Like vibration.
Place in the world, yeah.
What Ilana says in the book, that also each food that we have here on the planet, each type of food has their certain frequency. For instance, meat that comes from a cow or a pig has a ground frequency.
Because their feet are on the ground.
Four legs on the ground, 4 feet on the ground.
So that has a... What do you call it, an earth or ground?
Earth frequency.
Earth frequency, okay.
So let's say if I was to be a person that is stubborn, that is controlling, that is, this kind of person, she would suggest me to eat not 5 times a week meat, like once, twice a week.
Go easy on the hamburger.
Because I wouldn't want to put in my own frequency to add more of that frequency, of the ground.
You're just going to be more stubborn and more grounded in your thought beliefs.
Exactly.
So what would she recommend?
She would recommend me to eat fish, because fish has no legs. Fish lives in the water.
And they flow.
They flow, they stream, and then I can stream better with reality.
So it's
I put the frequency of the fish into my frequency, and then they combine. And let's say if I was to be a forgetful kind of person, I'm always late for eat less chicken, because chicken has wings
and they fly,
and they have airy frequency.
And if you needed to lighten up, would you eat chicken as opposed to?
If I want to be more creative and more floaty, and I wouldn't want to be so grounded, I would eat more chicken.
Wow, isn't that
so
amazing?
for me, And you need to preserve your energy. So I'm not eating flour because it takes the body a long time to break and to dissolve the flour. And it's like a bank of energy, you know, like free.
Okay.
That was her recommendation. I read in the book about MS, what the book talks about is the patterns and the behaviors of people and what creates the illness in their body.
Okay.
Mainly an illness is created when there is an extreme conflict between thoughts and feelings.
Okay.
I can be open with you and tell you that I had very difficult conflicts in my life. I came out of the closet when I was 16. I entered the closet again when I was 20. I left the closet again. I got married to a man at some point. I was doing so. The MS are environmental pleasers.
When she said to me, she said something about, I have MS, and Ilana calls that the pleaser's disease. And it was like, and the people I know that have MS,
they're pleasing.
They're pleasers. They're wonderful people, but they please everybody.
So now I'm trying to be a nice person, but I'm trying not to please everybody. And first of all, please myself. Live with my girlfriend because that's what I want to do. Be a life coach because that's what I want to do. And I took myself out of my shop because in the shop, you're just pleasing everyone all the time, from the morning until night.
Sales, you have to, you know.
I know. So now I put a manager in the shop. I don't have to be there all day.
Perfect. Yeah.
So you just have to really reconnect, to have inside good emotional balance, and I'm doing the things I want, and I'm not forgetting myself, and I'm achieving my goals, and I'm on my path, and I'm going towards my destination. I was so off my destination before that I had to get a reminder. So our soul sends us a little bit of a reminder, a little seizure of MS. If I needed a bigger reminder, I would probably get something more serious. I'm very glad that I needed a small reminder, and I know what I have to do now. And that's what I'm trying to do with my trainees as well. And that's what I'll be
upset when, as I've always said, Americans just, you know, are the only people who think death is an option.
This is not about blaming or judging. This is about
explain the difference a little bit.
I'm telling you that it takes two to dance a tango, and you have to take responsibility too. The doctors can't do this job for you. The doctors, they went and they studied about medicines and what cures this and what does that. But doesn't it make you wonder, where did it come from? How has it been created? Why did I get this MS? Why didn't I get something else? Why did I get it? Where did I go wrong? I don't mean wrong in a judgmental way, but where did
what is out of balance? What is out of balance?
Yeah, and where did I abandon myself?
Yes.
Where did I desert myself along the way? That I had to get this reminder, and to come back home and to make balance, and you just have to be aware. Awareness is the key word.
It is. So what changes have you made in your life since it's...
First of all, managing shops all my life, until I opened my own business 10 years ago. And then I was managing my own shop and working even harder. And I always wanted to study, and I always wanted to take care of people. And so the first thing I did, a month and a half after the MS came up, I registered to university in Israel, the Open University it's called, and I studied coaching so I can have a diploma, so I can really help people, and I have a diploma to show them. I have this paper.
I know what I'm talking about. That's why we all went to college, just to prove that we know what we're talking about.
So I have this provement now.
Exactly.
And
that is
also
the university is ICF accredited, right?
Yes,
which is fantastic. Yeah.
Yes,
cool.
Yes. And we had the 4 hired as I used to be.
Right.
It was a bit difficult at first to give up the cakes and the flour and everything, but then with medicines and also to know that this comes from grief, it comes from sorrow, the illness. It comes from bad things.